MBA Show, the podcast that delivers to-the-point business lessons without the baloney, with our daily 10-minute business lessons for the real world. I'm your host, your coach, your teacher, Omar Zenhom. I'm also the co-founder of the $100 MBA, a complete business training and community online. And today is part one of our two-part lesson on customer onboarding. I'm calling this two-part lesson Customer Onboarding 101. This is just the beginning of this series. I'll be delivering more lessons on this topic in the future, but I want to start with the foundation today, with the fundamentals. And as this is a big topic, and even if we're just covering the fundamentals, we split it into two parts. Today's part one, and tomorrow is part two. In today's lesson, I'll be going through what is onboarding, why you need it in your business, how it affects your business, how it helps your business, what are different types of onboarding you can use. We'll talk about two categories of onboarding, in-product onboarding and external onboarding. I'll be giving you examples, and we'll be going through how you can get started with onboarding today. In tomorrow's lesson, part two, I'm going to be sharing with you some onboarding strategies. A simple onboarding system that you can use if you're just getting started, or you have a very simple product, as well as an advanced system and some of the tools you can use to implement onboarding in your business. But really quick, if you're asking the question right now, what in the world is onboarding? It's the experience your customers have when they first interact with your product or service. And it's critical to your success, and this is why I want to take the time to teach this properly. All right, guys, there's so much to cover in today's lesson, so let's get down to business. Today's episode of the $100 MBA Show is sponsored by HostGator. Build your business website with HostGator, and not only will you get an easy way to create a website, you'll get 24/7 live support via phone, chat, or email. That means you have your own tech team on your side to help you out whenever you need it, wherever you are, whenever you are. And HostGator is affordable. You can get started for as low as $5 a month with our amazing 30% discount. Get everything you need to get started with your business website. Just go to HostGator.com/MBA30. Again, that's HostGator.com/MBA30 to get this amazing deal. All right, like I said at the intro of this episode, onboarding is the experience your customers have when they first interact with your product or service, whether it's a free product or a paid product. In other words, it's the first impression the customer has with whatever you offer. And we all know how important it is to make the right first impression. Now, what does that mean for you as a business? So strategically, from a strategic point of view, the purpose of onboarding is to help your customers win with your product or service. You want to have them actually succeed with whatever the purpose of your product is, whether it's to entertain you, whether it's to help them in their business, whether it's for them to look good in their clothes, whatever it is. It also helps your customer best utilize your product. In other words, if somebody buys your product or service but doesn't know how to use it properly, they're probably going to be disappointed with it. So it's your job in the onboarding system, in the onboarding sequence, when people first buy your product or service, to show them this is how to use it. Now, this works online or offline. So, for example, one of our sponsors, Harrys.com, sells a physical good. They sell razors for men. They deliver to your house. And their onboarding happens in real life. When you open their box, they give you instructions on how to use their product, how to get the most out of it, when to change your razor blades. They basically hold your hand through the process of using your product. And you want to do that with your product or service, regardless of what it is. Physical product, a software, an ebook, whatever it is. And remember, this is for anything, whether it's free or paid, even if it's an opt-in on your website. And you're collecting email addresses in exchange for a free course or a free ebook, there should be an onboarding system. All right, so let's talk about what does onboarding do for your business? What are the benefits of it? Why would you want to do this? Number one, it will reduce your refunds. Most people are not happy with the product or service because they're not really sure how to use it, how to utilize it, or they don't use it. A lot of people buy things and they never actually try it out. They never even open the box. I can tell you from my experience, this is 100% true, more than you can imagine, especially if you're selling soft products, things that are delivered electronically, like a software, like an ebook, like a course. Many customers don't even open the box. When I say box, I mean figuratively. They don't even look at your product. They don't even try your product. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that you don't have an onboarding system to encourage them to give it a shot, to show them how to use it, to hold their hand through it. And what happens is that because they don't use it, they say, oh, this is useless. I haven't used it. I might as well ask for a refund since I'm in the money back guarantee time period, whether that's 30 days or 60 days. So that's a huge number one benefit. We all want to keep our refunds down so we can keep as much as possible from our sales. So number two, it reduces churn. So if you have a membership site or a reoccurring billing business where they're being charged on a regular basis, whether that's a monthly or an annual basis, having an onboarding system is important. Because when you have a membership system, whether it's software, something like Netflix, which is, on demand or access to movies, whether it's like Harry's where they have a membership where you get these razors delivered to you every month, whatever it is, you're basically winning over the customer every single month. In order to keep your customers, which is the hard part, getting customers is not super simple, but it's easier than keeping a customer. And keeping a customer in a membership business is the backbone of its profitability. You want to keep as many customers as possible and reduce what's called churn, people leaving your membership. And onboarding really helps you with that because it gets people onto your product, using it, getting wins, and getting them into the habit of using it so it just takes care of itself and they just love your product. Now they know how to use it and they enjoy it. All right, what else does onboarding do for your business? It gets your customers using your product. I just mentioned that. But that's very important because you want people utilizing your product because they can't tell their friends how much they love it if they don't use it. If you want word of mouth to happen, if you want things to go viral, people have to actually use what you're talking about, what you're selling, what you're offering. And onboarding holds their hand again and shows them how to use it so they have no excuse. What else? It reduces misunderstandings about your product. A lot of people, they'll refund a product thinking that it doesn't do something when it actually does. Or they think it's confusing. They don't know the easy way to use it because they haven't been shown. But you never really get that feedback because they just cancel and they're gone. So if you want to be super clear, there's no misunderstandings about what your product does and how it's different from the competition, you got to have onboarding. Onboarding also helps your branding. So when people have a great onboarding experience, they feel like, wow, this brand is credible. And that leads me to my last point, which it creates more perceived value. When people join and see that this is a system where they actually teach you how to use this product and it's really friendly and it's easy to use, they feel like, wow, it confirms their decision of buying your product. They say, wow, I made the right choice. This is a great business. This is a great system. This is a great product because they give me more than I expected, more perceived value. All right, so let's talk about some examples of onboarding. And I'm going to go with a very simple example. That first email your customer gets when they become a customer, whether it's thanks for ordering, here's your receipt, that's onboarding. It's whatever they experience after they check out. If they get a thank you page after they check out, after they order, after they buy, that's part of onboarding. Whatever they experience from the point of purchase is onboarding. So I mentioned your first email. So a lot of people, their first email says, thanks for buying, here's your receipt, this is the delivery time, or here's your username and password so you can access your digital product. And usually that's where it stops, but that's just the beginning. But I just wanted to give you the most basic example of onboarding. And as you're going to learn in this 2-part lesson, there are many things you can put in place past that email, so much more that's going to help your business and your product. So I like to split onboarding into 2 categories. One is in-product onboarding, and the other is external onboarding. And let me explain the difference. So in-product onboarding is like the example I gave with Harry's, where when you open the box, it's in the product. It's when you experience the product, there's instruction, there's tutorials, there's ways to show you how to use the product and to succeed. So if you're talking about software, like for us, it's Webinar Ninja, our webinar software, we have in-product onboarding. So those are those little pop-ups that you see around your software that say, hey, you can use this feature. Or it's a pop-up window that walks them through how to create their first webinar. This is in-product onboarding. So it's in the process of using the product. There's tutorials, there's guides, there's tooltips, things that you can use. And we'll go into detail of how you can create in-product onboarding and what tools can you use. We'll go into that in tomorrow's lesson, part 2. So whether you have a physical product or a software or an online course, your customer has to have some sort of orientation process that they experience when they first open or experience your product or service. The other category of onboarding is external onboarding. And those are things like emails, the emails that customers get when they purchase all the emails that come out days after they purchased, showing them how to use the product. These are tutorials, like a tutorial page that have videos or maybe blog posts that show people how to use your product. This could be your support site where they can search in forums or support articles. This could be support emails. So for example, with us, with Webinar Ninja, our software, one of the first emails you get is from one of our success agents. And it's an email that says, hey, I'm your success agent. I'm here to help you out with creating your first webinar. Email me at any time. That's part of onboarding. Okay, so I want you to take some action today. I'm going to give you an assignment to do before part 2 of this lesson, because you're going to need this information. You need to complete the assignment before tomorrow's lesson. It's only going to take you a few minutes to complete this actual assignment. It's a small task, and it's going to get you going. It's going to get you creating your onboarding sequence and your system so you can have all the benefits I mentioned: reduce refunds, reduce churn, getting your customers acquainted with your product, reducing support tickets, and so much more. Hang on, let me give some love to today's sponsor, and then I'll give you your task for today. Today's sponsor of the $100 MBA show is HostGator. When you're building a business, you don't want to have to worry about the tech of creating your business website, or registering domain names, or getting SSL certificates for secure checkouts. Let the experts take care of that for you over at HostGator. When you sign up for HostGator, you get 24/7 live support. So you get a whole team of people dedicated to make sure you win with your business website. They'll help you and walk you through creating your website, maintaining your website, and upgrading your website whenever you need it to be upgraded. That also includes when you start with the baby plan with HostGator, you can upgrade at any time as your business and your website grows. But the point here is just to get started. And now is a great time because you could save 30% off with our amazing discount code. That means you can get started for only $5 a month. Just go to HostGator.com/MBA30. Again, that's HostGator.com/MBA30. All right, here's your onboarding task. And remember, you want to get this done before tomorrow's lesson, part 2. You're going to answer some simple questions in a text doc, on a piece of paper, whatever you like. The first question is, what do you want your customers to accomplish when they first experience your product or service? I'll give you an example. For Webinar Ninja, we have one goal. When they become a member, we want them to create a webinar. If they can create a webinar successfully and enjoy the process and find it easy, we've won. Because now they say, hey, this software is easy to use. Every time I want to create a webinar, I can do it with Webinar Ninja. Webinar Ninja solves my problem. That's our goal. What's your goal when people experience your product? Are you selling an ebook? Is your goal to get them to read the first chapter at least? Are you selling a course? How much of the course do you want them to at least consume when they first experience, when they first visit your actual course? Write down the answer to this. Very important. Try to keep it as specific as possible. One thing you want them to accomplish. Number 2, if you have a product already, if you don't, you can skip this one. But if you have a product already, what does your customer experience when they interact with your product for the first time right now? What's your onboarding like? Just be completely honest. Say nothing. They don't get anything. I want you to think a little harder. Do they get an email? Write that down. Do they get a receipt? Whatever it is, write down what they experience when they become a customer or when they sign up for whatever is free. Lastly, and this goes for everybody, if you currently have a business, you're selling a product or service, or you're not selling a product or service, you have a free opt-in like a course or an ebook, I want you to document your stats. What's your refund rate? How many people are refunding versus how many people are buying? How many people are signing up for your free course, for example? Get any stats you have about the sales of your product and the refunds of your product. If it's for sale and if it's free, how many people are signing up right now? If you have any other stats like how people stay on your course or stay on your product or stay on your actual product, like if you're using Google Analytics, write that down. We got to know where you're starting. So when you create your onboarding system, which we'll talk about in part 2 tomorrow, you have some stats to go by so you can see if you've done better, if the onboarding helped. All right, guys, that's your task. Go ahead and do it. Make sure you get it done before tomorrow. I'm counting on you. It's a very simple task, answering some simple questions. Guys, that wraps up today's lesson, but don't forget, tomorrow is part 2 of Customer Onboarding 101. We're going to go through some strategies, some ways you can create an onboarding system, some tools you can use, We're going to make it super simple for you. Hit subscribe so you get your episodes automatically. And don't forget, guys, tomorrow is Free Ride Friday, where we give away a free lifetime membership to the $100 MBA Training Community. If you've left us an iTunes rating and review, you automatically enter our weekly draw to win a free lifetime membership. Make sure you leave us an iTunes rating and review to enter that draw, and give us some love. Let us know how we're doing. All right, guys, that wraps up today's lesson. I hope you loved it. I love teaching it. Onboarding is one of the things that we're really working on with all our products, and hopefully we're doing a good job. And I'd just like to pass on some of the things I've been learning along the way. Before I go, I want to leave you with this. Customer onboarding is something that is more of a refined skill. It's how you refine your products, how you get better at your products, how you get the most out of your product. And these are the things that make a difference. These are the things that differentiate you from any other business or product, and one that really, really has traction and starts growing. So keep that in mind, guys.